that we have is we're going to be going over some community announcements. We then are going to go right into the entire comprehensive trading plan. This is definitely going to take up majority of the time today. Oops, we got some more people joining. That's going to take up the majority of today. And then after we go through that, we might do some Q&A before or after, but then immediately thereafter, we're going to go right through GU and possibly US 30 forecast. GU, we are reaching weekly lows now. This was a trade. I was going to go all the way up here, but we are finally almost near these weekly lows. And as mentioned, when your intuition starts to play a big role in trading, we know that we're so relatively close, right, to these new weekly lows. I mean, we're 100 pips away, right? So it's probably most probable that we're going to expect price just to continue to go all the way lower. So understanding today, what we're going to be going through is the destination and the targets, GU specifically, and we're going to really see how we can conduct the best analysis as possible. That's going to allow us to reap the remaining profits, or the remaining pips rather, for GU to reach these, not all-time lows, but pretty close enough. So, all right, everyone, so that's going to be the outlook for today. So 1 second. All right, so turn down a little bit. Okay, so first things first, some community announcements. So this past week, everyone, so first and foremost, I want to apologize to, we have JP joining. All right, first and foremost, I want to sincerely apologize to everyone regarding the ASP. As mentioned, not last webinar, but 2 webinars ago, it has been a ton of work, needless to say, and that doesn't even scrape the surface, all the problems and all the issues that we've run into along the way that are out of our control. That has been very, I won't say defeating in a sense, but it's things that we can't control, from the videos to the quizzes. Like, that was the whole entire point of ASP. Now, going through these, me, Anthony, especially Anthony, we realize that there's just so much unknown, especially when we're trying to do something so big. And as mentioned, you guys can notice that the website's significantly slowed down. There's just a lot going on. But on that note, what I want to say in complete transparency is, even though you don't have access to ASP, this week I'm going to be working extensively on getting all the material from ASP transferred to the website, so you can have at least all what was already there. So as far as the videos, still working through it. Anthony's still working through the backend operations and the smooth user interface for the videos, for the seamless integration. But for the meantime, you guys will still have access to everything you already did before. It's just going to be through the member dashboard. Now, the accelerated dashboard, you guys will not have access to, but if you have visited the website, you will notice that the user dashboard has a few new features. So, it's inclusive of still the topic mastery, right? However, that is the ASP, quote unquote, is going to be added to that topic mastery. And it's not just going to be all of silver, right? It's going to be everything. So you're going to have liquidity, inducements, engineer liquidity, nothing related to structure, right? That wasn't inclusive even in silver. Entries, the different entry models. You're still gonna have access to everything, but it is a process. So bear with us. And also, it's a trade breakdown. So there's 10 trade breakdowns that are going to be released from August. It was from August 19th to September 2nd. So all those trades that have been taken, there's already a few uploaded. We now have to take that 1 to 3 or 5 hour trade from GU. We got to transfer that over, and then we're all good on that note. So additionally, student resources. So student resources, you guys are going to have access to today. It is going to be this whole entire comprehensive trading plan, also the risk personality assessment, which we're going to be going over here in just a few minutes. The one thing I want to emphasize strong enough is that, I understand, this disappointment. I understand, it takes so long. I can't, again, emphasize how, over the past 3 weeks, 200 plus hours, it's been a lot. And, it's been so much so that it's taken a toll on me. It really has, when it comes to, the pressure, things not going the way that we anticipated, and so on and so forth. So I want to thank you guys for being patient. I want to thank you guys for being supportive, those who have reached out, those who have asked what you can do to help. It really does, mean a lot. And for those who want it to happen instantly, I can tell you that Rome was built overnight. For those who have been a part since January, February, you can already see the drastic growth that we've had internally. These operations for not just building a website, but members area, a portal, not just videos, but the whole seamless integration is something that I've never done before. And that's where Anthony comes into play. He's really playing a significant role. So again, I appreciate you guys being patient. And if there's anything you can't expect it to come. As far as the exact date, that's TBA. It could be sooner than expected. It could be later than anticipated. So if you do have any questions regarding that, please do message me. But in the meantime, as far as the activity in the community, I still have people messaging me, personally asking questions. I encourage that, but at the same time, I can't get back to everyone that asks questions, right? So that is the purpose of study room. That is going to be the purpose of the collaboration and communication on a daily basis, from trade ideas, asking questions. Throughout the study room sessions, I again heavily emphasize, ask the questions that you have. If you have any losing trades, or if you miss out on a trade that you thought you were right on, how can you capitalize on that? And there are other very, very good traders even in this call that I know will be more than happy to help you and also work together. Having Zoom calls together. I know that there's a handful of you guys that are always having Zooms together, working through that, and I love that, and that is awesome. So for those who might want that, those who might want that interaction, just asking hey, who wants to get on Zoom? Who wants to talk? And I know there'll be people who are more than happy to. So that's just first things first about the website. Let me view this. Thank you, Simon. So that's everything in regards to the website. As you also noticed, we're also going through rebranding right now. From the colors, the whole process, everything is getting rebranded, especially on the website. So over the next 2-3 weeks, you're going to be noticing some big changes when it comes to the website, from the user interface. As far as the videos, now this is something I'm not sure if I sent a message about, or Anthony, or if it was sent at all. But going forward for the whole month of September, it's going to be a whole content driven month. So at minimum, what you guys can expect is 1 weekly webinar a week, 2 pre London session analysis. And for those who haven't been able to join, I give the POIs, the exact take profits, how I'm going to manage the trade, everything according to that. The only thing that I'm leaving up to you is how you're going to enter. And by making you accountable for your entry, that's going to force you to follow a trading plan. I can give you everything when it comes to POIs, this, that, when it comes to actually managing and entering, that is going to be strictly based off of what we're going to be going through today, the whole comprehensive trading plan, your entry models, how much you're going to be risking, the risk overview, the trade management, the whole nine. So that's just one other portion, right? So you have the webinars, you're going to have the Tuesday and Thursday trade sessions, so those 3 videos, and then the fourth is going to be the study room, the midweek study room. So there's still, on average, on a weekly basis, 6 hours of content that you are going to be receiving. If it's not live, then it's going to be recorded. And in addition to that, what we're going to be doing is on the topic mastery videos. So topic mastery videos at minimum per week, 2, goal is going to be 4. So that's going to be 8 videos at maximum per week that we're going to be doing over the next 4 weeks. So that's going to accumulate to 32 videos, inclusive of trade breakdowns as well. So as mentioned, there are 10 trade breakdowns that are sitting right now. I might want to go through one of them with you guys, and I want to ask your input if this is how you would love to see it, because there's been a lot of work put in for the trade breakdowns, and the easiest way that you can understand how we're breaking down the trade is the way that I want to go about it. So definitely, I'm going to add this to here, review breakdown format. I want to get your guys' input on this, so this is going to be beneficial for you all. All right. So again, on the high end 32 videos, at the low end 20 videos over the next 4 weeks. So expect that. Also, again, changes to the whole user report. I'm not going to give away anything regarding that, but just know that the whole interface will be changing. And we're still looking through external third party, I guess, course hosting platforms that will allow us to hold this seamless integration with videos. It's all pretty structured, easy to go. So if you guys have any questions about that, you're more than welcome to leave something in the comments. You can message me. But those are just the relevant community announcements to right now. So the trade breakdowns, the videos, and let's just minor step action, major comebacks. I appreciate you guys' patience. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topics. So first things first, we're going to be going through is the entire comprehensive trading plan. All right, so this is going to be an example trading plan that we're going to be walking through, and you guys are going to be receiving a link throughout this call. So what I'm actually going to do now is it's on the website, but I got to switch my screen to share with you guys, and I'm going to copy this link. And if you guys would like to open it at the same time, you are more than welcome to. So let's go ahead and copy. Has anyone in here used Notion before, or are you currently using Notion for any journals? If so, go ahead and type a 1 in chat if you have, and a 2 if you have not. All right, awesome. Then we'll go through this together. All right, so let's go right here. Resume share. So this is the link that you guys want to go ahead and copy, and this will be sent in Discord as well. I'm going to send it in the chat right now. All right, so new share, and we're going to go pull this up right here. All right, everyone, so this is the entire comprehensive training plan, and it gets pretty intensive as we're going to go. So bear with me, and I cannot emphasize enough. This is the biggest thing when it comes to trading. This is the biggest, because how many of you guys, and I want to know type of 1, type of 2, how many of you guys have been trading either just entering random lot size or trying to make money where you can, and you're not really able to put into perspective what the money's going to do for you. Maybe you might be making $100, $200 a trade, maybe more, significantly more or less. You guys might not be able to put a value based off the trade into perspective. And by making a plan, this is going to allow you to keep on track and know exactly what you need to do. So this is the training plan, and there's 5, 6 different sections of it. And we're going to take some time. You don't have, you have to add or approve my email, I believe. Oh, okay. So I will work through that. All right, I'll do this for now. No. Okay. All right. You guys go ahead and try. Yep. Got it. That should work us, at least. All right. So comprehensive training plan. So up here, you want to take time. And I would encourage you all to take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour and filling all this out in its entirety. So first things first is this is just your personal statement to yourself. And all this is filled out so you can exactly see how we're going to go through it. So first things first, personal statement. I'm dedicated to becoming the best version of myself with patience, passion, discipline, perseverance. I'll become a master of my own mind and manifest the future that I deserve. Always having affirmations or something that's going to hone you back is one of the biggest things that'll change your perspective alone. And as mentioned, when you know all the concepts and you're still being confused, you'll realize when you have your breakthrough, it never had to do anything with, oh, I didn't see this or I didn't see this. You'll notice conceptually nothing changed. The only difference is the energy that you attracted that's going to allow you to see things clear. The strategy's not changing, it's your perspective. And what allows you to have a perspective is by manifesting, doing affirmations, and having personal statements that you remind yourself every single day and you firmly believe. Because what changed my whole course of my training journey after my highs, my extreme lows, was the whole paradigm shift that I made. It's not that I was doing anything different except believing more in myself, believing in the process, and leaving the energy to the universe to dictate what is going to happen, and firmly believe that anything that is going to happen is in your best interest, and it's all meant to happen for a reason. So this is just a personalized statement that you want to be putting for yourself. Daily affirmations are absolutely huge. Before we get into the actual trading plan, you morning, noon, night, before every meal, before you trade, however you want to go about it, I would 110% have an alarm and you practice your daily affirmations, because you are speaking them into existence subconsciously. You're subconsciously rewiring your brain to not be like, oh well, I've lost again. I'm just Murphy's law. It's always going to happen to me. I'm just going to keep losing. You're going to realize that by having this routinely practiced on a daily basis, if not immediately or within a few short weeks, you're going to notice a huge change in your paradigm shift and your energy, and it's just going to start to drastically change. And the clarity that you're going to receive as a component of that is just going to be, life changing. It really will be. And yes, some people might think, oh, this is voodoo or whatever. I can 100% tell you it is not. The one thing that we know about the universe is everything is energy driven on specific frequencies. And by being positive, energy based, manifesting, you're creating your own future by speaking into an existence. If you're always going to think about sad things, or if you're always going to put yourself down, how can you see clarity, or how can you see, what's going to happen if you're focused on, oh, I know this will happen, or I can't do this, I can't do that. You're never going to be successful if you're always telling yourself those things. So the first things that you have to do is subconsciously rewire yourself to think in a successful way. So some of the daily affirmations that I would say on a daily basis, especially the first two, these are the two that changed everything. The universal supply of money is attracted to me. Just believe that money is attracted to you. Just firmly believe it, and you're going to notice one way or another. If there's just money on the ground, or if you help someone and they help you in your circumstance and they pay you with a lump sum or significant amount, that will just change everything, especially when it comes to trading. Because when the universal supply of money is attracted to you, you're not chasing it, you're not worried about it. And something that I firmly believe in, religion, everything aside, is that you don't chase, right? I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me will simply find me. Whether you guys believe it or not, as you can tell, trading, specific things happens at specific times, and the universe, the world, it's the exact same thing. If you've noticed, only specific people come to your times at specific people come into your life at specific times. And some people are meant to stay for seasons, some people are meant to be around your entire life, but they're all part of your journey that are going to help you get to where you want to be. And by understanding that you're attracting what's coming to you, and it's simply going to find you, you have the undeniable underlying belief that you're going to be successful. So you're just going to let the cards play out and control what you can in the meantime. You're not going to chase it, because if you have to chase something, that means you're never going to get it in the first place. So if you truly believe that it's going to come to you, and you remind yourself every single day, it will eventually find its way to you. This is just so important, and I want all of you guys to take away. And just doing and saying some of these affirmations on a daily basis consistently, you will notice a huge shift in your trading, your mindset, your psychology, how you're attracting and manifesting, money, positivity, health, wealth, everything. So a few others: I'm patient, I don't chase trade. And a very big thing, the top 3, 1, 2, and 4, those are my top 3. What can happen will happen. As you guys hear me say Murphy's law, anything can happen. However, I'm confident in myself and I trust the probabilities to play out in my favor. If you guys have noticed, whenever I do trading sessions, I always say, well, I know this can happen or this can happen, but I'm confident in this and I'm going to be playing this. Win or lose, it all makes sense. And I'm confident in myself. It makes so much sense. It's following my plan. And I'm going to take it. And whether it works or not, that's something I can't control. But what I can control is how much I risk, how I manage the trade, and manage your psychology before, during, and after you enter the trade. So this is just a big one. And as I mentioned, I believe it was in the last study room, someone posted a quote in the motivation. It's like when you chase something, I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like when you chase something, you're going to realize you're never going to find it. But if you accept that it's going to happen. Or if you accept things for what they are, and that losses, tragedy is all a part of it, but you are confident how you're going to manage it, that you're subconsciously going to be bringing and manifesting, attracting those positive things, such as winning trades. That is just extremely important. And the last one is I am disciplined, I'm resilient, I deserve the abundance of happiness and wealth that is coming to me. You need to look yourself in the mirror or look yourself in the phone, take a video. I am this, I am that. And if you've ever lacked confidence, and all of us have at some point, that is just a natural thing. If you've ever lacked confidence, self-belief, if you've been doubtful, it all starts with you. You have to believe in yourself before anyone else does. And I can confidently say by practicing these things on a routine basis, you're going to subconsciously rewire yourself to believe that, I not only am I confident in myself, not only do I believe in myself, but I love myself. And when you love yourself and you can completely and utterly just accept things for what they are and you can manifest everything, that's just when everything's just aligned. And now that it's the right time, the right place, and you are aligned with yourself internally, that's when things are going to come to you. Only the right things happen at the right time, the right places, and the right time that things are going to happen is the time that you are able to feel that. When you're ready to bring on the money, the finances, the relationships, that's when those people or things are going to come into your life. But if you're not ready, they're either not going to happen, or if they do, they're not going to work out. And that's just how we have to take it for what it is. So practicing daily affirmations, I would always do before trading, or first thing in the morning, or when you go to bed, or listening to subliminal CDs, rewiring your brain subconsciously before you go to sleep. That's something I would definitely do. If you have a fear of failure, a fear of success, just listen to things. It doesn't have to be, motivation, do this, do that. That's what I'm talking about. It's how to conquer your mind. It starts with believing that you can in the first place, believing that things are going to happen the way they're meant to. And then you're going to start to build and exercise your mind like you do a muscle. So daily affirmations, one of the biggest things before getting into the trading plan. All right. I'm going to be talking a lot, so bear with me. I'm going to be drinking. All right. So the first section, the whole comprehensive trading plan is broken down into 5 sections. It starts with the goals, vision board, and personal information. After we go through this, we're then going to be going into the routine approach. So what is the top-down analysis that you're going to be conducting on a daily basis, and how are you going to be approaching it? Then after you go through this from your higher time frame, intraday, and lower time frame overviews, we're then going to the specific entry models. So as mentioned, the only way you're going to be consistent is if you do the same things consistently. If you utilize different entries, decisionals or extremes. If you trade BOS sometimes, or if you just trade liquidity grabs another time, you won't be consistent unless you can do the same thing all the time. So having this routine approach is going to be key with the specific entry models. Okay. So buy and sell entry models, and only enter the same way, or, have 2 different options that you're going to be entering and nothing else. Don't enter a BOS once, then a rejection candle another time, and then, single candle mitigation. You're just going to be taking a lot of losses. And as I explained in the bootcamp, and even recently, I'm sure that you guys who have been doing this and utilizing the various entry models, you probably have taken a substantial amount of losses. And that's not because you don't know what you're doing. It's because you have not been doing the same things consistently and having that confidence, having that trust in yourself to follow a plan. So after that, arguably the 2 most important things of the trading plan is going to be the risk overview and the trade management. This is where you're going to know exactly how much you need to risk and exactly how you're going to manage every single trade. So I'm not going to get too much into these because we're going to be going through this at the end. But before going into these, we must know the first section. This first section is going to dictate everything else. If you've ever asked yourself, well, what lot size do I use? Or, how much money should I make? Or how much do I TP? I don't know. Do I TP at 1.5? Or if it's at $100, $200, do I take some off? How much do I do? We're going to be learning today. So let's go ahead and get into the first section. All right. So the first section, your goals, your vision board, and your personal information. So first things first, fill this out with complete and honest transparency and accuracy. You need to always have something to hone you in about what is your why for trading. Is it for your family? Is it to, do short term so you can fund other business ventures? Is it to, travel? Is it to become a full-time trader? Is it to open up your own firm? Whatever it might be. You need to understand what your why is for trading. What is your overall goal and what purpose does it serve in your life? And I wouldn't just answer, I wouldn't just answer a couple words, right? This is for you. And you can delete this, use this as a base, anything. You need to know what the purpose is, and always remind yourself, this is why I'm doing this. If you're living with your parents, this is why I'm trading. I want to move out and I want to start my life on my own terms. Then do it. If you have days where, you are thinking about doing something that you probably shouldn't, over risking, or, trading more than you should, revenge trading, you need to be able to bring yourself back and have accountability. This is my purpose. And if I don't stick to this plan, my why, it doesn't mean anything, because what you're wanting is becoming where you want to be, is becoming the sacrifice because of things you're not doing to get there. Fill this out completely, entirely. And the more work you put into this, the more you're going to be getting out of it. All right. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, this is how you're going to be starting your journey. So you want to start with today's date, which is going to be September 4th. And then after going into that, we're going right into the first part, which is the personal finance information. So as an example, again, these are all, you're going to see all for the sections randomly filled out, but you're going to ask yourself, how much do I have in my checking account? How much do I have in my savings account? Because in order to make a plan, you need to know exactly what you got and what you don't. Because you can't just say, I want to make $10,000, $50,000, $100,000. Oh, I want to do FTMO, MFF, and then, and then make 30 grand a month. You can't do that. You have to understand that the goal isn't to make $30,000. The goal is to first replace your job or your expenses on a monthly basis. And once you're able to replace your expenses on a monthly basis, that will then allow you to be a full-time trader, consistently. So this is what you need to know, what your checking, savings, and your total debts are as a whole, right? The second part is going to be your monthly expenses, all right? So your monthly expenses, without a doubt, this is the most important part, or most important section of this trading plan. So in this section, you'll be writing down all the expenses that you have on a monthly basis, including all bills, phone insurance, rent, mortgage, loans, monthly subscriptions, credit cards, etc. By knowing the exact amount of expenses you have on a monthly and weekly basis, you now have the first key point of what you need to make consistently in order to become a full-time trader. Something that changed for me drastically when I was starting my journey. On the come up after I had my lowest of lows. My personal performance psychologist, she told me, in order to make sure you don't do that ever again, you need to make sure that you always have what you need in order to survive. And this is how it's going to start. Right. So by knowing all of this, right, this is going to allow you to put money into perspective by not knowing just what to make, but allowing you to have purpose with profits and be able to follow a trading plan to the T, not just taking random positions and over risking, positions and hoping it all works out and you can make an extra $500, $1,000. Don't think about $500, $1,000, $2,000. Think about, what bill can this pay, or what can this be going towards every single trade you take. So this is the secret formula to becoming a full-time trader. And it is arguably the toughest thing to do in trading. If you notice, there are a bunch of SMC traders or, gurus, people say, but the reality is it doesn't matter how you analyze the charts at all. Just because you're a good analyst does not mean you're going to be a good trader. And majority of good analysts are horrible traders because they don't know how to endure the psychological attributes that are associated with trading, the confidence, the trust, the whole FOMO, greed, everything we're going to be going through. So I cannot stress, most importantly enough, if you do not hear anything today, anything else, listen to this. it is so important for the final expenses that you have on a monthly basis to be no more than $20 of the exact value or the exact amount of your expenses, if not exact. So I'm not saying, oh, if your phone bill is, maybe it's $100. I'm not saying for you for 115. Don't say it's $100. Say it's $115.86. You need to know exactly why. At first, when I was going through this, not this, but building one of my own, I realized that I'm like, oh, well, I might need, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. Okay, cool. Subconsciously, if you do not know the exact number, you're not going to be any closer to where you need to be, because subconsciously you're like, well, I know it could be this, it could be within this range. If you do not know exactly, then that's just going to take away from the whole purpose of this, because you need to know down to the exact dollar that you need to make in order to be where you want to be, in order to become full time. By doing that, you're going to know, wow, I need to make exactly this much, and if I don't, I'm not going to be able to trade full time, or I'm not going to be on track. You're just going to say a random number, and even if it's in the ballpark of what you think, subconsciously you still won't know the exact number. So who's to say that you're going to do anything different? Because you most likely won't. And that's what I fell into the trap a couple of years ago is, well, shoot, why is this not working? Why am I still making these psychological errors? It's because I didn't know the exact numbers. Because once you know the exact numbers, then you know what your first goal is from trading. So without a doubt, the most important thing right here. Javon, you need me to repeat that, brother? I can repeat it if you need. Okay. All right. So, if not the exact amount, your psychology will be drastically affected and you will break your plan, ultimately not becoming the successful trader that you are capable. We always hear, oh, they had so much potential, or they could have done this, they could have done that. Well, sure, should have, would have. But in order to get to where you want to be, you're going to have to do things you've never done. And this is going to be one of them, the entire comprehensive plan. Sure, it's lengthy, but I can guarantee if I had to ask all of you, if you want to make this amount of money, what's it worth to you? And filling out this plan is going to be, your due diligence in order to get there. If you do not fill out this plan, I cannot emphasize that you will getting to where you want to be. Well, you're just going to keep going around in circles, and you have to have purpose and intent with everything that you do to get where you want to be. You can't just be entering trades and I just want to enter 0.3 for the hell of it. What does that mean? What does a 0.3 mean? What can it do for you? Is that going to help you? Is that going to change your life at all? Is it going to account for your bills? I can't answer those questions. You can, right? But that's why you need to go through this. So you must fill out this form as accurately as possible, as it should take you 10 to 15 minutes. I said maximum. Should really be taking you 15 to 30 minutes. I'm going to adjust this 15 to 30 minutes. All right. So make sure to double check all of your numbers. All right. So this is going to be an example layout of how you're going to have your expenses. So this is not obviously everything. I mean, this is majority of what I could think of. So this is divided into two categories, right? Your needs and your wants. So first things first is you need to write down your monthly expenses and rounding up to the nearest dollar. So what is your mortgage or rent? What is your homeowner's insurance? And if you don't have any, just put NA. And if you don't have any, you're okay. You're going to be, then if you don't have any, DM me and we're going to figure out what your goal is and get there, right? So this is what your homeowner's insurance, your utilities, such as your gas, electric, water, what does that look like? Your internet bill, how much in groceries you need for a month. If you have a car payment, car insurance, how much gas is on a monthly basis, your credit cards. You need to be financially responsible to make money. If you don't treat money responsibly, you're never going to have, enough of it, because you're just going to be irresponsible with it. Got to do this before even making the money. What are your credit cards? Do you have any loans? Do you have any other bills or investments? And then what are your wants? After you know exactly what you need, you then need to account for what your exact wants are on a daily or on a monthly basis. So your wants, right? Do you want to dine out? Do you want to have monthly subscriptions, TV, music, Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever it might be? Are you going to be traveling? Do you go out, any social activities, drinking, clubs, bars, whatever it might be, food, extra food, and then your other expenses. So total amount of monthly expenses to come to here. Now, do not use these numbers. These are literally just cherry picked examples, right? This is just so you have an idea of how to go through this. So fill this out in its entirety. And this is just the first stage of the plan that everything is built around, right? So once you know exactly what you need, you want to take this number and you want to make a mental note of that, because in order to survive, you must make these amounts. You must make it. Anything above and beyond, you can factor in, and that's going to give you your total comfort, that your total comfort amount of what you want to make on a monthly basis. That's going to allow you to cover your needs and your wants. But what's most important is your needs. If you can cover all your needs, okay, who cares if, you don't need to go out every night. You don't need to order that Chipotle multiple times a week. I'm a victim of that. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. But if you can cover what you need, you're chilling. Anything else is extra cheddar for you to go do what you want. Right. So let's see your total monthly expenses. So now, great. Congrats on finishing the first step of your plan. You're now going to be continuing to part 3 for further calculation. So make sure to reference this number above. So the third part of this plan is now that you've calculated the total number of your monthly expenses, it's time to start crunching the numbers so you know what you need to make on a weekly basis to be on track, and a daily basis to ensure that you have a purpose when taking trades. The critical note: we only use the calculation of your daily expenses to take profits and to put your profits into perspective. When I say daily expenses, as you're going to realize here, daily expenses are just on a daily basis how much it's going to accumulate to your month. So for instance, on a monthly basis, right? If you this is supposed to be, what happened here? Well, this is supposed to be monthly, week. These are supposed to be two switched. Hold on, everybody. I'll come back to this in a minute. But so critical note, you have to be exact with this. The reason you gauge your monthly expenses is because you want to understand how much that is a week and how much that is per day in theory. So if you have to make, a few $1,000s a month, that you have to make, a couple $100 a day in order to meet your needs. Well, if you know you have to make a couple $100 a day, why are you worried about making $500+ a day? You don't need to do that. You just need to make what you must. And once you do, anything else just goes is extra cash, right? But you need to make what you must. So there's two things: the weekly expenses and the daily expenses, referred to as your WEX and your DEX. So your weekly expenses, the formula to get this is your monthly expenses times 12 divided by 52. So divided by 52, right? So your weekly expenses is this formula, and that number comes out to 1743. This is on a weekly basis. This is on a yearly, my bad. So this is your weekly number right here, your weekly expenses, because this number will equal that 7557 on a monthly basis. Great. Now you want to have your daily expenses, in which all you do is you take your weekly expenses, which is 1753, and you need to divide this by 5. So let's do this. I don't know why it was there. You need to divide this by 5. Divided by 5. And I actually do not have my phone, but whatever that number equals, let me see, give me a moment, everyone. Well, it's 1743 divided by 5. 348. So in order for you to make, whatever this is on a monthly basis, you need to make $348 a day. That's all you need to make for your expenses, right? I say all you need to make, but that is, this is all that it's going to take for you to meet this number on a monthly basis. So now what you have is a concrete foundation required to then build the proper risk and trade management that's going to enable you to meet these goals. So now if you notice, it's not about, I want to risk this amount per day. I want to get this much per day. can say that, but if you don't know exactly what you need, then you're not able to put the money into perspective. So it is heavily encouraged to make a separate trading account, right? When you do this, you're gonna have your main trading account. I would also create a separate trading account that kind of acts as a savings. And what you're gonna do on a daily or weekly basis is once you make that $348, let's say you make $348, right? Maybe your first trade, maybe your first TP, whatever it might be. Once you make that $340 and maybe you end the day, let's say $500, what I would do is I would take that $348 and I would put it into your savings trading account, withdraw and put it into your savings account, because that savings account is like, these are my monthly expenses. So everything that I make that is necessary is going to go in here, not above and beyond, but exactly what I need. So by the time bills payday comes, I have the money that I can trade with, and I have the money that I can utilize to pay my bills with. The reason I encourage everyone to do this is because let's say you make $500 in one day, right? The next day you be like, oh wow, I'm up $500 now. I want to risk a little bit more, see if I can make $1,000 a day. And what are you going to do? You're going to be risking more than you should, and you can end up losing not just that $500, but more than. And now guess what? You're not even back to square one. You're negative. So now you got to go back into the process. That is where everyone is going to be screwing up. How many times? And type one in the chat if you have. How many times have you been in profit? A significant amount. You close a trade, and then the next trade you're thinking, oh, I want to risk more on this, and then you end up losing it. I know I have. I mean, I would imagine everyone has at some point, right? That's just the nature of trading. Everyone has at some point, and if someone says they haven't, well, I think we all know the answer that that's not true. So by doing this, it is going to ensure that you're not doing that. But you must have a reminder, a sticky note, something on your phone that tells you withdraw this on a daily basis. Don't think about it as, oh, I have less money in my trading account. But do not think about it like that. Think about it like, I'm so grateful. Maybe your goal is to make $1,000 a day, whatever it might be. I'm just speaking out loud, right? If you make $348 a day and that's all you make, give yourself a pat on the back. You be proud of yourself. You did exactly what you need it. And if that's not enough for you, because I know there's some people who are funded who are making a lot more money. That is great, but just make what you need, and anything else, anything extra above and beyond can then go to a new car, paying off loans, even debts, whatever it might be. But just make what you need, because this is what you're going to build a whole trading plan around. So again, have that savings account and withdraw that, if not on a daily, on a weekly basis. But you need to have trust in yourself that you're not going to do exactly what we just talked about and risk more than you should. Right. So you don't want to risk what you make, and when you risk what you need, that's going to cause you to make bad decisions. It really will. So take my word for it and don't go through the trials to get there. So now that we've got through the whole first section, now once you do this, you need to take these numbers with you as we go to the fifth section at the very end. And this is where we're going to be utilizing for the trade management section for your take profits, your stop losses, and your benchmarks for goals that will be based on them. So this is the whole first introductory part, and you need to fill this out as accurately as possible, because everything else to follow is going to be contingent on what you write in here. So section 1 of your trading plan is done. Boom. Now we need to go into the routine approach. Section 2, the actual trading related strategy side of things. And all this is greatly filled out for you. Well, as a template, right? So pairs, you need to explicitly understand what pairs you're going to be trading or what's in your arsenal, as I say. GU, EU, and US30 are all in my arsenal, but that doesn't mean I'm taking trades on them every single day. For you guys that know, I've not taken any trades on EU for the past few months. I just haven't liked it. And I've loved GU. And if you've noticed, GU has done exactly like we've been talking about. So why would I focus on anything else? I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is and just focus on GU or US30 if it looks great. So only trade the pairs that you have written here, and write a contract with yourself that you are going to follow this to a T. And if you break that contract, I mean, do you deserve where you want to be if you're not willing to do what it takes? Only you can answer that question, but write a contract with yourself and follow this entire plan. Right. So right now the pairs we train, the trading hours. For those, again, you guys now should well know, I only trade London session now. My sleep hours are backwards. I wake up normally around 1:30 2 p.m. Not now, but hour ago or so. And I go to sleep around 6, 7 a.m. in the morning. So I just trade London. I don't trade both sessions. I only choose one session, especially those who are considering or who are trading 2 sessions. You can do that, but I would say you're probably going to realize you're going to be taking a lot of losses if you trade both sessions, because you're just like, oh, there's so much opportunity. I want to do this. You could have a kick-ass London session, but then you could blow it all away during New York session. I mean, how many times does that happen to someone, right? You guys can answer that question, but that is something I would only trade one session a day, or, just the kill zones and only the same setups, right? So now, after we've had this identified, let's go into the strategic analysis, all right? So first thing, the higher time frame on your 4-hour, your daily, and your weekly. I'm going to draw just a little example over here. This is your trading plan, right? So let's say we are on the weekly time frame right now. The first thing you want to do is you want to identify your major inducements or your possible destination, right? So with that being said, if this is where price currently is, we know that we have a low and we have a high. This is the range. This is the liquidity range of where price needs to break. Yes, it's structured, but most importantly, there's liquidity above a high and below a low. So we need to identify where these major inducements are. 4-hour, daily, weekly, monthly, and above, right? Identify them. Next, we need to ask yourself, identify the previous day highs, previous day lows, previous week highs, lows, and the previous monthly highs and the monthly lows. How do you do this? Well, you are going to be going to, on a daily basis, whenever, let's say it's Monday, right? It's Monday. On Monday, what you're going to do every single day is you're just going to draw out the previous day high, which is going to be Friday. So you're going to draw the previous high for Friday, and you're going to be drawing out the previous low on the daily chart. And what you're going to want to notice is where the liquidity targets, meaning is price going to be rating this up here, or is it going to be, right? Is it going to be waking this up and then going lower, or is it going to be taking out the low to be then, going higher, right? So you need to understand your liquidity targets, where price is trying to break out. So identifying your daily, monthly, and weekly highs and lows, those are liquidity zones. Check. The third thing you want to do is after you identify the major inducements, you then just want to identify your major or your major order blocks, right? So you can have an order block right here. And then again, if you're looking for sells, you're probably going to have some form of order block over here, possibly, right? You're possibly going to have something over to the left that looks like this. Because maybe you have some form of extreme over here, right? So now we know where price is. We have 2 destination points, right? It's either going to come up here to go lower or come down here to go higher. And that's all you do on your higher time frame. That's it. After identifying your higher time frame, you then want to go to the intraday time frames and refine your order blocks to identify the gas stations that's going to allow price to target here or here. Right. So then now you want to go to the 15-minute all the way to the 2-hour time frame. And during this period of time, you want to identify, all of this. So the first thing is, in order for price, let's say this is where we want to go, right? Maybe we're attacking this high first to sell. In order for price to get up here, we need to ask yourself, where are the intraday inducements? So maybe you have something that looks like this. Maybe intraday, you have this. Where's your intraday inducement? Well, it's right here. And where's your order block? Well, your order block could be intraday structure. Your order block could be right here. And then maybe you could have your intraday inducement look something like this. It could be, right, it could be a type 2. So now you ask yourself, all right, and where's the gas? The gas is below this low, and the gas below this low is going to allow us to get to our destination because we're trading a structural break to then a structural break. So identify your intraday order blocks, your intraday inducements, and these are what's going to be verified the correct order blocks. Your inducement, your correct order block, great. But then you use intraday inducements for also intraday targets. So you have your inducement, you have your TP1, you have your TP2, which is your higher time frame inducement. Second thing is after you go through and you identify the inducements, you want to refine your higher time frame order blocks by choosing your extreme refinements, or if you have maybe a decisional refinement somewhere in here. There's 3 different ways to refine your order blocks, and the first way is to identify order flow within your order block. So within here, maybe you can have something that looks like this.